Well, good evening. It's Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I'm a hypnotherapist, dream sculptor, publisher of three new books. One is called I Am Wisdom. Another one is How Did I Teach Myself Fear? And the third one is Dissolving Ancient Anger. And Dissolving Ancient Anger is it's a very interesting book because it's how the anger of today and all the hate come from ancient times. We have actually had to teach ourselves to hate each other and to be angry. I picked mine up through my childhood circle of influences, and I've really dealt with it since then. But tonight, I really want to express, stop setting boundaries, stop avoiding negativity. Because something I've expanded into, everything I've avoided in life, I set a new fear, a new boundary. I set a new fear and build that inner wall of being scared of life, stouter, taller, and you can't expand through it. And that is where I'm really expanded into. But every time I read, somebody says, avoid something. Every avoidance is something new. It's a new silhouette of dark inside ourselves that we have to expand out of. And Thursday night, I'm going to expand more on this because I'm writing a chapter in a book called I Melt Away My Body's Pain. And every time we set a fear or a boundary, we put in new pain or we stop ourselves from moving forward. But boundaries become crutches. Boundaries and forgiveness become a crutch. And what I mean by that is when you start feeling unsafe and insecure and things are unsettling, not unsafe, but unsettling and unstable, set a boundary. And if it's another person, they did something, you start forgiving. That all becomes a crutch. And how do the crutches that we develop actually stop us from moving forward in our lives? And we don't have unsettling we don't have negative or dark. We have unsavory events that we're afraid to walk through and to walk of. Because the unsavory and the negativity is not anybody else's but mine. If I'm walking into a negative situation, whatever is being presented to me in that situation is for me to expand my life. That is something I'm really open to now. And before, I would avoid it. Man, if it touched my little hurt feelings or one of my wounded emotions, oh no, we're headed the other way at a high rate. But I've opened up to understand that negativity, unsavory events, and the people that are involved are to expand me. If I listen for the wisdom, innovation, and the gut gumption to expand my life, I will forever expand through life. So I read on the people, stay away from negative people, stay away from this. Don't live with them. You don't have to associate with them. But if you encounter them in your day-to-day life, that was put on your path for a special event to expand out of a silhouette. Because we embed the dark figurines or silhouettes of our life. And as we're going through life, we get so far in the thinking and in the we call it the head, but the head is just really the bone structure is just bone structure. We get into the thinking mind and we can only go so far. And that is where the self-help is. But beyond that is inspirational expansionism inside me. All the thoughts and everything in our brain come from our body. Addictions, we try to cure the brain and try to expand them, but we never go into the cells of the body where the addiction where the memory of the addiction lies. The memory of your life actually languishes in your body. So when you set a boundary, or you have a forgiveness, or you think somebody did something unstable to you, That boundary is a new fear, and you will never go beyond it until you go inside yourself. And it's really about a voyage into ourselves. That's what this is. And the external is just showing us our personal roadblocks. So when you stop adhering to the roadblocks and start hearing the revolutionary revelations in there, you start stimulating a new sovereign sass to expand through your life. And that's what this is all about, is expanding through life. It's expand out of thinking we know everything. And another thing is if you lock up and you see a negative person, or you see a person that makes you uncomfortable and you avoid them, that's not them. That's your fear. So when I now realize when I avoid somebody, I ain't avoiding them. I'm avoiding my wisdom. I'm avoiding my life expanding experience by walking away. And when I opened up to this and I've expanded to grasp it, it's a new awakening. And that's the thing. You want to be alert and perky to hear this. And the word mind, it binds you in things. So when you become of a subconscious stimulation and unconscious inspiration, how do you feel? And the thing something I've taught myself in the world is, I've learned through the world, is we try to think we have to know, and we try to think we know everything about everything or everybody by just meeting them. We never allow them the time to present themselves. And I'm guilty of that one big time. But as I open up to this and I stopped setting boundaries, I liberated me. And I liberated the inner me. And that's where this life really starts. It starts here. It starts at the root chakra and comes up. And that is something I've really grabbed onto. But when I hear somebody say avoid something, that tells me they're afraid to go into their own self. And it isn't easy. It isn't friendly. Because some of that down there is painful. Because it was embedded in pain, wounded. And you know, when we embed something, it's embedded for what we know, our opinions, viewpoints, how we look at life, what other people say. That all has to be addressed, blessed, confessed, and expressed to the world. The more of the inner anger and the inner, not anger, but the inner frustration you can express to the world, you expand your majestic maturity and open yourself up to hear the wisdom for your life. Because every person that crosses your life, every event is specialized for you. Or for me, whatever it is. And I really like talking in first person because that allows me to go through it. And I don't look outside myself, because a boundary and a forgiveness stem can turn into blame and shame really quick and become really an embedded, well, it's an encrypted etching of giving myself the what for. And that's the thing about a boundary. Because when you set the boundary and you avoid something, it's coming back. And it's going to come back with a vengeance. And I don't mean it's going to come back a little more sharper, a little more pointed, until you get the wisdom of it. Because when we avoid life, and that's what I caught myself at it. I've been at this a long time, and it isn't until the last probably month I said, oh, I've been avoiding my own self. But it's the feelings, emotions, the cells, all of our body is where everything is encompassed. The brain is part of the body. The head is just the skull, the bone structure around the brain. So when you can encompass everything as a body, it becomes a liberating lure to expand you through life. And I use the word expand a lot because it has no memory, it's freedom, and it's unlimited. And that is something else that really is. But, you know, you feel good setting boundaries and forgiving. You know, it all feels good in the head, but in the body, what do you feel? Every time I forgive somebody and I set a boundary, I felt good for a little bit, but then the emotions and the feelings of the situation and that unsavory dialogue inside myself, really the negative dialogue comes right back, and I forgive them, but I haven't released them. And to release somebody that done something to you, you have to appreciate the experience and uncover the wisdom and the fortitude that you had and how willing you were to expand through it. Because no matter how a heartbreak is, you're going to expand through it. So appreciate them, take the power away from them, and put the power in yourself. And that is where this is. But, you know, you feel good setting boundaries and forgiveness and avoiding unsavory situations. But to unlock the new savvy, you got to go listen to yourself, because your root chakra and your gut and all your body, your heart, they understand it. And they're going to tell you something that doesn't make you feel good, but it's going to make you good. And see, this country and this world has grown up, but it's never matured. And when you get into an expansionism, inside me, I'm mature. And when you mature, you really open up. But as you look at the world today, all you hear is the negative and all the dark stuff that goes on. Well, that dark stuff is being presented to all the people to show us our own encumbrances, because it's never going to be a government. It's not going to be a politician. It's never going to be anybody to take you out of it, but me, myself, and I. It's an individual expansionism of letting go of ancestral anarchy and ancestral and ancient anger, or ageless arrogance, ancient anger, and all that stuff. And that's what my book, Dissolving Ancient Anger, really does. Even though you forgive somebody and you set a boundary, how do you still encompass the unsavory feelings and emotions of the situation? Until the emotions and the feelings of every situation is handled, and letting go and dissolving the revenge thinking of what you're going to do to that person or what you would like to do to that person. If I ever get through this one's a big one for me. And it's been an ongoing expansion for a long time, but I'm willing and open to expand through this and to live life like an open range in our Wild West. No fences, no barriers. Just walk through life uninhibited and open to the wisdom that's being presented to me from everybody, every situation. Quit qualifying and quantifying and seeing if they fit into your little circle of boundaries. How many people have you walked by that had the wisdom to expand you, but you thought, oh, I ain't going over there, he's got dirty clothes and this. We judge, and everybody does it, I still do it. We judge everybody by the outer, their clothes and everything else. Even though we say we don't, we do. But it's something I'm expanding of. I was in Oregon working, and I met a guy that just traveled the world, and him and I talked for about 2 hours. And we talked about different things, spiritual growth and all this. And you know, when we walked away, we said, you know, this is a one-time meeting and we'll probably never see each other again. And that is true. There's a lot of one-time meetings in life, but them meetings are to expand people and allow people to open themselves up and quit setting the boundaries that bound us into what we know, think, and all of the timidness within ourselves. We set the boundaries to fail. When you listen to the wisdom, you understand you're going to fail 99% of the time till you succeed and become successful that one time. Being willing to fail is the first step to success and being blessed. That is a big thing. But we set so many boundaries. How can you get past being willing to experience the unsettling and unstable conditions of the life expanding experience? That's what the failure is a life expanding experience, free of boundaries and free of thinking and knowing and thinking we have to know our way. And I can say for myself, I tried several things, but I had to know before I could go. And I hit the status quo, whoa, and that's the thing. When you open up to be more liberated internally, you let go of the status quo, whoa, and then you get into the Roko go, and you celebrate the game of life and how you won it. And that's the thing. I won my game of life because I was willing to let go of boundaries, fears, being scared of I call it the terra incognita. That's the land of the unknown, unfamiliar. But that is where life, the bliss of life, is above everything we know, everything we think. But it's having the gut gumption to go up there and experience. And my book, I Am Wisdom, will take you up there. But it's the freedom that you feel inside yourself is where this is. And when you quit setting boundaries, avoiding people, avoiding the negative, and embrace the negativity and the dark of your life. And it goes like this. I now embrace, appreciate, and address, confess, and bless my negative emotions and dark feelings to the universe that cleansed and purified my inner airways of brave daredevilry, that quickly cleared my pure listening ears and polished my hearing heart, powered up my soul's ascendancy, energizes my eyes of light, insta illume my tombs of gloom and doom to boldly bloom my dreamer's audacity, revolutionizes keen, awe-inspired nirvana, dawns natural enterprising gut acumen, trend-setting intuitive visionary epiphanies to flow from within me. And that's what this is all about. And I am out of time, and I thank everybody. I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. My email is robert@mycowboywisdom.com. My books are available at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And may everybody experience a very blessed day and week. And we will be here Thursday night. We're going to talk about melting the body's pain. Anyway, everybody enjoy your night.